Majority Leader Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move a call of the Senate.
A call of the Senate has been moved, and I don't see any hands up. Properly sustained. Will the sergeants please close the doors, allow no senators to leave, and return those who are absent from the chambers? I pushed the button. Mr. Schaffler, please call the roll.
Senators Amabile,
We should raise the volume on that joint. You know what I'm saying? There we go. There we go.
Are you having computer issues?
well, no, I mean, I'm going to raise the call. And then I'm going to call it, so.
Can't take you nowhere. I was playing with you.
All right.
Baisley, Ball, Bridges, Bright, Carson, Catlin, Cutter, Danielson, Doherty, Exum, Frizzell, Gonzalez, Hendrickson, Judah, Kip,
I don't know. A lot. Hundreds.
Kirkmeyer, Colker,
Lots. Lots has to be.
Liston, Lundeen, Marchman, Michelson Janae, Mullica, Pelton B, Pelnar, Rich, Roberts, Rodriguez, Simpson, Snyder, Sullivan, Wallace, Weissman, Winter, Baisley, Ball, Bridges, Catlin, Danielson, Frizzell, Colker,
Hey, Robert, you waiting for everybody to show up, or what you want to do?
Liston,
There's Pelton B.
Lundeen, Pelton B. Pelton B.
Oh,
Hey, Mr. Minority Leader.
Winter. Baisley.
Lundin, are you here?
Lundin.
Lundin, one more time. There we go. All right. Majority
Let's see what it sounds like.
Senator Judah.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the call be raised.
The motion is to raise the call. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the call is raised. Mr. Schaffler, please excuse Senator Frizzell. Committee reports.
Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1333 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1326 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation and with the recommendation that it be placed in the consent calendar. House Bill 1324 be referred to the Committee of the Whole and with a favorable recommendation and with a recommendation that it be placed in the consent calendar. House Bill 1317 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation and with a recommendation that it be placed in the consent calendar. House Bill 1325 be referred to the Committee of the Whole and with a favorable recommendation and with a recommendation that it be placed in the consent calendar. House Bill 1065 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. Senate Resolution 9 be postponed indefinitely. Senate Bill 131 be postponed indefinitely. House Bill 1079 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1249 be amended as follows, and if so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1238 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. Committee on Finance. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 321 be amended as follows, and if so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1311 be amended as follows, and if so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1021 be amended as follows, and if so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1157 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. House Bill 1121 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. House Bill 1296 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. Committee on Local Government and Housing. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1295 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation and with a recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. House Bill 1123 be postponed indefinitely. Committee on Agriculture and Natural Resources. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1332 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1078 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1159 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. Mr. President, the Committee on Health and Human Services has had under consideration, has had a hearing on the following appointments, and recommends that the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Colorado Health Facilities Authority Board of Directors, effective July 1st, 2025, for terms expiring June 30th, 2029. Jessica Klotch of Louisville, Colorado, an unaffiliated, reappointed. Ann Erickson of Centennial, Colorado, a Democrat, reappointed. After Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1223 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. House Bill 1259 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation. House Bill 1288 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation and with a recommendation that it be placed in the consent calendar. House Bill 1309 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
Message from the Hizzle.
The House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the Reviser of Statutes House Bill 1220, amended as printed in House Journal April 30th, 2025. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the Reviser of Statutes Senate Bill 155, Senate Bill 278, Senate Bill 61, Senate Bill 158, amended as printed in House Journal April 30th, 2025. The House has passed on third reading and returns herewith Senate Bill 279, Senate Bill 287, Senate Bill 30, Senate Bill 126, Senate Bill 307, Senate Bill 282, Senate Bill 303, Senate Bill 305. The House has voted to concur in the Senate amendments to House Bill 1023, House Bill 1136, House Bill 1176, House Bill 1222, House Bill 1236, House Bill 1207, House Bill 1017, House Bill 1239, House Bill 1279, House Bill 1004, House Bill 1195, House Bill 1204, House Bill 1225, House Bill 1183, House Bill 1026, House Bill 1062, House Bill 1097, House Bill 1149, House Bill 1213, and House Bill 1215, and has repassed the bills as amended. The House has adopted the first report of the First Conference Committee on House Bill 1006 and has repassed the bill as amended. The House has adopted the first report of the First Conference Committee on House Bill 1154 and has repassed the bill as amended. The House has voted not to concur in the Senate amendments to House Bill 1273 and requests that a conference committee be appointed. The Speaker has appointed Representatives Basnicker, Chair, Woodrow, and Barone as House conferees on the First Conference Committee of House Bill 1273. The House has granted authorization to go beyond the scope of the differences between the House and the Senate. The bill is transmitted herewith. The House is postponed indefinitely. Senate Bill 132. The bill is returned herewith.
Message from the Reviser.
We herewith transmit without comment as amended House Bill 1220, without comment as amended Senate Bill 61, 155, 158, and 278.
Introduction of bills.
House Bill 1220 by Representatives McCormick and Hartsook and Senators Pelton B. and Mullica concerning the regulation of medical nutrition therapy and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Appropriations. General orders. Second reading of bills. Senator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of general orders, second reading of bills.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The Senate resolve itself to Committee of the Whole for consideration of general orders, second reading of bills, and Senator Ball will take the chair.
Thank you, sir.
We're on Pelton's bill. He's ready. Let's get ready to rumble. I'm going to lay it over.
So I just call the order and then I can, yeah.
You can just call me and I'll lay this
Yeah,
bill
yeah,
over first.
yeah. Okay. The committee will come to order and the coat rule is relaxed for everyone in the chamber. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1291 lay over until tomorrow, May the 2nd.
Motion is for House Bill 1291 to lay over until tomorrow, May the 2nd. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. That motion passes, and House Bill 1291 will be laid over until tomorrow, May 2nd. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1327?
House Bill 1327 by Representatives Sirota and Froelich and Senator Kipp concerning modifications to processes for statewide ballot measures.
Senator Kipp.
Thank you. I move HB 251327 on second reading.
You heard the motion. Is there any further discussion? Senator Kipp.
Yes, this bill is focused on efficiency and transparency. What it does is we are trying to remove some inefficiencies in the ballot initiative process because it is being used more and more, and it is hard for regular people to be able to track and follow. So we're just trying to make it easier and increase the efficiency and transparency. One of the things it does is if you submit more than 5 ballot titles that are sort of on the same issue, then you need to provide a chart showing us the differences. Instead of when it gets to the fiscal statement, we're going to be using the maximum dollar amount that is determined instead of the median dollar amount so that we don't have to keep bringing things back to the ballot when we get more revenue than we anticipate by using the median amount. let's see, it's also to, the title board shall indicate whether in the title, whether the statute, the change of statute or constitution modifies, extends, or repeals existing law or creates a new law, so that we're better informing voters. When we're when we're collecting petitions, it says if you get to a certain petition threshold, we want to make sure that you notify the Secretary of State's office, because the Secretary of State's office actually has to staff up in order to make sure that we are, they have enough people to process the petitions as they're coming in. So anyway, we think this is a great bill. I think it improves efficiency and transparency, and I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1327? Senator Pelton B.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the sponsor for bringing this. I kind of beat it up pretty good in committee, and the good senator from Larimer County was gracious enough to take all my to consider my amendments. So I appreciate her very much. But this is one of those bills that, when we have discussions about the people's voice, I just want to make sure that we're not, in this bill and in this policy, that we're not taken away from the people's voice. One of the things that I talked about was that the moving up of the deadlines, you know, when you want to collect petitions to qualify for the ballot, moving the deadlines up 2 weeks, as this bill does, it only hampers the citizens. So I do have an amendment to remedy that.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read Amendment L019?
Amendment L019, amend regross bill, page 6, line 2.
Senator
strike.
Pelton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L019 to House Bill 1327.
Is there any discussion?
This amendment returns the deadline for the title board to have its last meeting to the current third Wednesday in April, and this bill moves the deadline to this amendment allows more time for individuals to collect the petitions to qualify the ballot, and so that's what this does. And we're just moving the timeline from the third Wednesday in April, and that's what we're doing in rehearings after the last meeting. So I ask for an aye vote.
Senator Kep.
Thank you. While these these deadlines are really difficult to meet, for the time being, we are going to go ahead and accept Senator Pelton's amendment because he's been gracious enough to share them with me, and we were able to have some conversations about that we're going to retain this in law for the time being. So thank you very much. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L019? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L019. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. Senator Pelton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I have another amendment.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read the title to Amendment L22?
Amendment L22, amend regross bill,
Senator
page
Pelton.
8.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L022 to 1327.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to explain the amendment. The amendment specifies the failure to report signature collection status does not disqualify the petition for the ballot. So that's what I'm asking for this amendment, and I ask for an aye on L022.
Senator Kep.
Thank you. It was never our intent to deny people access to the ballot, so we would ask for an aye vote on this amendment. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L22? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L22. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. Senator Pelton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have two more amendments. Two.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read the title to Amendment L24?
Amendment L24, amend
Senator Pelton.
regross bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L024 to 1327.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, so what this amendment does is it takes out the 25, 50, 50%, 25%, 50%, and only leaves the 75% of the required signatures. It also removes the reporting of the ceasing petition circulation. So that's what this amendment does, and I ask for an aye vote.
Senator Kemp.
Thank you, and again, Senator Pelton was gracious enough to share this with me in advance, and we agree that if we're going to have the Secretary of State staffed up, receiving just 75% threshold will be adequate to achieve the purpose of the bill. So I would ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L24? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L24. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. Senator Pelton.
Thank you. I have one more amendment for this bill.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read the title to Amendment L16?
Amendment L16, amending gross bill,
Senator
page
Pelton.
11.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L16 to 1327.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, what this does is it takes away the safety clause and puts a petition clause on the bill. Here's why. If we're going to change the way that people are putting in and getting petitions to put onto the ballot to hear their voice, we ought to give them a chance to say, we don't want this, and then that way they could petition on, and after the session's done and everything, and they could get this repealed. So I just said that this was actually asked in the committee meeting by one of the witnesses. I actually had it in committee. I did not get it on in committee, and I wanted to try again on the floor because I wanted to really explain why I ran the petition clause. If we're going to change the way we do ballot initiatives, then let's give the people a chance to agree with it or disagree. So that's why I asked for this, and I asked for an aye vote on L16.
Senator Kemp.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate the idea behind bringing a petition clause, and I always try and have petition clauses on my bills whenever possible. In this case, we are near the beginning of the current election cycle for the 2026 election period, and there could potentially be a 2025 ballot as well. We just want to make sure that this applies to everything that's going on in 2025 and especially in 2026, because 2026 ballot initiatives can be applied for now, and we want to make sure they're all on the same playing level. So unfortunately, I am asking for a no vote on this amendment, but thank you for bringing it.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L16? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L16. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. No. The noes have it, and the amendment is lost. Senator Rich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I was looking at this bill, and I was thinking about one of the things that Mike could really help it. When I used to be the county clerk, and they would have ballot questions that were very difficult to understand. And we had a thing going on in my county when I was the clerk called Kids Voting. And what we would do to encourage them to vote is that we would create a child's ballot, and we would use language that was easy to understand. And I tell you that because I have an idea. And
There is an amendment at the desk.
Thank you.
you bet.
Will the clerk please read the title to Amendment L15?
Amendment L15, amending gross bill, page 5, line 8, after
Senator
one.
Rich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L015 to House Bill 251327.
Is there any discussion? Senator Rich.
Thank you. This amendment requires ballot measures title to be easy to understand language. Like I said, we never got so many complaints from voters when looking at a ballot question. And ballot titles are getting more and more complex. Requiring simple language for these titles helps the voters understand better what they are voting on, especially when tax increases get convoluted, I think it's an easy idea for anyone to get behind, and I encourage an aye vote on L015.
Senator Kemp.
Thank you so much. I really agree that all ballot titles should be written in plain English. I get that. But this particular amendment is unnecessary. There are already requirements in statute that say ballot titles must be clear and understandable to voters. If an initiative does not meet this requirement, the title board has discretion to resolve problems around clarity. And the Blue Book provides nonpartisan analysis to voters on what each measure does and provides clear arguments for and against each measure. So I really hope that you will vote no on this. We think that oversimplifying the language could have the opposite of the intended impact and lead to more confusion and misunderstanding. So sadly, I would ask for a no vote, but I do agree with the goal.
Senator Peltonar.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I support 015. One thing I hear since I've been in the legislature, every election I do a Blue Book workshop for my constituents. One thing I hear over and over and over again, this language is too complicated to really figure out what's going on here. Not on every question, but on some. I agree with this amendment, 015. Let's get it simple as can be for the regular person out there that's voting. I think by making it complicated, it disenfranchises some people. So please vote yes on 015.
Senator Rich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm just going to renew my motion to support L015. Let's don't make this any more difficult than it already is for voters. You may think that this is okay, but until you have confronted voters, especially as a county clerk, and that they're like, we don't understand what this question means, it's not asking a whole lot to simplify that. This bill is going to be tough enough for people. Let's simplify the language so that they can understand what they're voting for. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L15? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L15. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The noes have it, and the amendment is lost. To the bill, Senator Baisley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hey, folks, the title board, interesting little institution, and there are a lot of times when people walk out of the board and they've been rejected, their bill has been rejected based on some things like more than one subject under the title and so on. So I think we need to address this in this bill, and therefore.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read the title to Amendment L14?
Amendment L14,
Senator
amendment gross
Baisley.
bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move L14 to House Bill 1327.
Is there any discussion?
Yes,
Senator Baisley.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's not a long amendment, so I'm going to read it because it spells out exactly the goal here. The title board determines that the title board lacks jurisdiction to set a title for a measure because the measure contains more than one subject or because the proponents of the measure failed to comply with the procedural requirements for submitting the measure to the title board. The title board shall clearly state on the record and in a written decision the reason the title board has determined that it lacks jurisdiction to set a title for the measure, and if the basis for the determination is that the measure contains more than one subject, shall explain with specificity the portions of the measure that constitute separate subjects. So this is simply a requirement that the title board explain itself when it's making a determination that something does not constitute a single title, or for other variety of rejections, that they ought to be required to state in writing the explanation for their decision. So I urge an aye vote.
Senator Kemp.
Thank you so much, Senator Bays, or, I'm sorry, to the senator from Woodland Park for bringing this amendment. I do appreciate it. I just want to say the intent of the bill is to increase transparency around the ballot process and increase efficiency for the title board. This would actually require a lot more work for the title board, requiring them to find and list every single reason why an initiative fails to meet single subject rules would result in incredibly long hearings, and then that would defeat the purpose of this bill, which is to try and make things simpler and save staff time when we have so many more titles and so many more things to consider. So I would ask for a no vote on L014.
Senator Baisley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. Senator from, I'll get there. There we are, Fort Collins, the good senator from Fort Collins. So the bill itself is addressing the process of the title board, and we understand the frustration that the title board experiences, and so the bill is addressing that when there's multiple titles being brought in that are very similar to each other, and it's a requirement within the bill itself, I believe Section 1, to, might be Section 2, anyway, to keep that down to a minimum and to show graphically what the differences are between these very close titles and very close propositions for a ballot measure. And anyway, so that's what the idea of this one is is kind of addressing the same issue. The reason that folks bring in multiple titles is because they're not sure which one's going to stick. And the reason they're not sure it's going to stick is because they walk out scratching their head, go, why did they reject that one? So I think it would help towards the goal of the bill, and it hits to the heart of the frustration of folks who are trying to follow the rules and get their measure out there for the people to decide. So anyway, I like the amendment. I think it's a smart one, and I would ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L14? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L14. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The noes have it, and the amendment is lost. To the bill, is there any further discussion on House Bill 1327? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1327. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1330?
You just left.
House Bill 1330 by Representatives Titone and Soper and Senators Hendrickson and Baisley concerning exempting quantum computing equipment from the Consumer Repair Bill of Rights Act.
Senator Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1330 and 1330.
1330.
1330. There's no committee reports, I don't believe. And, okay.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read Amendment L004?
Amendment L004,
Senator
Amendment
Hendrickson.
Engross.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There has been extensive discussion about how we accurately define what is quantum computing technologies in statute, and through lots of negotiations and debate over like comma placement and wording, there is mutual agreement that L004 is the appropriate definition. So I'm asking that we adopt L004 to 1330 and ask for an aye vote.
Senator Harrison, would you like to move the amendment?
Sure, I move L004 to 1330.
Is there any discussion? Senator Baisley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, when I read this amendment, it just jumped right out at me as what a nice, clean replacement for the original description and the original version of the bill. This is just really good, smart word crafting, and along with my colleague, I'd encourage a yes vote on this amendment.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L004? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L004. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1330? Seeing none, The motion is the adoption of House Bill 1330. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1013?
House Bill 1013 by Representative English and Bacon and Senators Coleman and Exum concerning social visitation rights for a person confined in a correctional facility.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We move House Bill 1013 and the State Veteran Military Affairs and Appropriation Committee report.
To the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. In SVMA, we had an amendment that removed some duplicative language requested by the department. It was a policy cleanup and federal law cleanups. We asked for an aye vote on the committee report.
Is there any further discussion on the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee report? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the State Affairs Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. Senator Coleman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I move, but I'll move again the Appropriations Committee report.
To the Appropriations Committee report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The House moved this bill without appropriating any funds. We did the same, as the amount is de minimis and legal fees can be covered in existing resources.
Is there any further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report?
There's no report? Oh.
There is no
There
need
is
to
no
move the
Appropriations
Appropriations
report.
Committee report.
Here we go.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read the title to Amendment L005?
Amendment
Senator
L005,
Coleman.
amend the state.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We move L005.
Is there any discussion on Amendment L005? Senator Coleman.
Yes, there is. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. This amendment reflects changes negotiated with the Department of Corrections. It also preserves visitation as a right. It also clarifies individuals in restricted housing who have been convicted of a Class 1 penal code violation can have their visits and phone calls limited. This language is deeply negotiated with the department so that it can be implemented. Clarifies that the department can limit visitation between individuals to comply with a court order for victim safety, to prevent communication with the co-defendant, to preserve the integrity of a criminal investigation, to comply with treatment, or for any other reason required by law. The amendment shifts the language that requires the department to consult with an employee union on policies related to visitation to the legislative declaration. It also adds language that the department shall take reasonable measures to increase telephone calls, contact visits for folks on the inside, including for those in restrictive housing, and it adds language that the department should take reasonable measures to increase broadband and restrictive housing, and we ask for an aye vote on L005.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L005? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L005. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. To the bill, Senator Coleman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We renew our motion for passage or adoption of 1013.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1013? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1013. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the Senate Bill 316?
Senate Bill 316 by Senators Amabile and Bridges and Representatives Taggart and Sirota concerning requirements for money appropriated to the Department of Higher Education and in connection therewith making adjustments to appropriations made in the Annual General Appropriation Act for the 2025-26 state fiscal year and making an appropriation.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 316.
There is an amendment at the desk.
At the desk. I thought there might be.
Will the clerk please read Amendment L003?
Amendment L003, amend
Senator
printed bill.
Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So L003 is a late addition to a very exciting bill on AHEC. Who here knows what AHEC is? I think maybe a handful of us. So thank you. The Auraria Higher Education Center. Senator Gonzalez knows this very well. What you have before you here in L003 is a request from AHEC to slightly modify Gesundheit. Slightly modify Senate Bill 316. This has been seen by all of the various different institutions that share AHEC, and while I think they need group therapy far more than they need a study, I think this is hated by all groups involved and a good amendment to move forward with. But seriously, get some of that therapy, folks.
Okay, would you like to
Is
I
there-
move L003.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L003?
I have a question.
Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L003. All those in favor say aye.
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 What's that? Oh. Do you? Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. To the bill, Senator Gonzalez.
Why, thank you, Mr. Chair. Now that we are to the bill, I'd like to just understand whether this is an amendment that addresses the concerns that were raised by AHAC and that will be amenable to all three institutions.
Senator Amable.
Yes.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 316? Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just point out there are four entities that are involved here. It's the academic institutions and AHEC. And what this amendment does is explicitly ensures, and this is something that I want to make sure is clear and on the record in legislative intent in this, as they move forward with this study. What was that?
I'm just like laughing at you.
Thanks, everybody. Happy to be here. As we move forward with the study, it's important that all four of the folks involved with the study are aligned on who it is that will be conducting it. The primary question here is ensuring that we do no longer take the double count in here with a $25 million hit against Tabor. But secondarily, this is an opportunity to examine the AHEC structure. Folks from Gesundheit. It's a chance to examine that structure, and frankly, as I said, I think this amendment has made clear that there are some conversations that folks involved in this campus need to be having with one another, and my hope is that this services those conversations and brings us a great response. So ask for an aye vote on the bill.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 316? No. Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 316. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the committee is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report. I'll sign it. Where am I?
Senator will come to order. Senator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
May 1st, 2025. Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 316, as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1327, as amended. House Bill 1330, as amended. House Bill 1013, as amended, passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1291, laid over until May 2nd, 2025, and retaining its place on the calendar.
Senator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
The motion's adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 316 is amended, passed second reading, order, gross place, count of third reading, and final passage. House Bill 1327 is amended, 1330 is amended, 1013 is amended, passed second reading, order, revised place, count of third reading, and final passage. House Bill 1291 laid over until 5/2/2025, retaining its place on the calendar. Second reading of bills. Consent calendar. Majority Leader Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I pull up special order second reading of bills consent calendar, which is House Bill 1325, House Bill 1317, House Bill 1324, House Bill 1326, at the hour of 7:41 p.m.
The motion is to take up those bills listed on special orders of consent at the hour of 7:41 p.m. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The Senate will take up those bills listed on special orders of consent at the hour of 7:41 p.m. Special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Kipp.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted. The Senate will resolve itself in Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. And Senator Kipp will take the chair. You're welcome.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed for everyone. Will the clerk please read the title of all the bills on the special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
House Bill 1325 by Representatives Espinosa and Bradley and Senator Exum concerning updating statutory references to the amended definition of eligible person. House Bill 1317 by Representative Bradley and Carter and Senator Exum concerning the correction of a defect in a law that incorrectly references the standard for provider self-pay estimates for healthcare services. House Bill 1324 by Representatives Espinosa and Luck and Senators Ball and Catlin concerning clarification of the deadlines that are applicable to objections and protests concerning valuations of taxable property. House Bill 1326 by Representatives Espinosa and Bradley and Senator Ball concerning updating terminology related to behavioral health safety net providers.
Majority Leader Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the passage of all the bills on second reading of bills, consent calendar, special orders, which is House Bill 1325, House Bill 1317, House Bill 1324, House Bill 1326, and there are no committee reports.
Excellent. Is there any discussion on any of the bills on the consent calendar? The motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills on the special order, second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
Thank you. The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. No. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
That's a shame. Recount. Thank you. Thank you. Senator, the Senate will come back to order. Senator Kipp.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
May 1st, 2025. Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof and makes following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1325, House Bill 1317, House Bill 1324, House Bill 1326 passed on second reading in order to revise and place on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Kipp.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
The motion's adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent. One excused, committee of the whole report is adopted. House Bill 1325, 1317, 1324, 1326 passed second reading, order revised, placed on calendar for third reading and final passage. Special orders, second reading of bills. Majority Leader Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, the calendar has been passed out. There was a request to pull House Bill 1267 off the calendar, so just make sure you know I won't be reading that across the desk, and we will not be doing that bill. On that motion, Mr. President, I move that the Senate take up special orders, second reading of bills, which are House Bill 1098, House Bill 1198, House Bill 1061, and House Bill 1153 at the hour of 7:45.
The motion is Senate take up those four bills on the special orders at the hour of 7:45 p.m. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The Senate will take up those four bills on special orders at the hour of 7:45 p.m. Special orders, second reading of bills. Senator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The Senate resolve itself in Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills. And Senator Ball will take the chair.
I forgot to take my calendar with me.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed for everyone in the chamber. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1098?
House Bill 1098 by Representative Stewart and Soper and Senator Michelson Janae concerning establishing an automated protection order notification system in the Division of Criminal Justice.
Senator Michelson Janae.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1098.
To the bill.
House Bill 1098 provides an enhanced automated system for notification for when a protection order is signed by a judge, protection order is attempted to be served, a protection order is due to expire, request for modification of a protection order, and attempts to unlawfully purchase a firearm by restrained party. This is very important for victims of domestic violence and survivors of domestic violence. I urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1098? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1098. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1198?
House Bill 1198 by Representatives Froelich and Brown and Senator Winter concerning the creation of a regional planning roundtable commission.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 1198.
To the bill, Senator Winter.
Thank you. This is a simple voluntary bill creating a regional planning commission.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1198? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1198. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1061?
House Bill 1061 by Representatives Taggart and Bacon and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning creating a grant program for the development of community schoolyards and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 251061 and ask for an aye vote.
To the bill.
Thank you. This bill has no general fund impact, and it allows for the development of community schoolyards throughout the state of Colorado, which is extremely important, working with our school districts and the communities. And it's extremely important for children to have places to play, and it will address inequities in underserved communities, and especially those that are affected by minerals and mineral fuels.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So when I grew up in New York, or I was born in New York, and I lived there until I was 12, 11. And then we moved to Aspen. And I'd never hiked. I didn't even know what hiking really was. And there was so much outdoor activity there. There was so much stuff to do. And we spent a lot of time at the schools that I went to there outside, doing all kinds of really amazing stuff, life-altering for me. And I would love for every kid in Colorado to have that opportunity, and this is just one little piece. Ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1061? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1061. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1153?
House Bill 1153 by Representatives Velasco and Joseph and Senator Judah concerning a statewide language access assessment covering principal departments and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Judah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 251153 in the Appropriation Committee report.
I don't think there's an appropriations. No.
Wow, that's fantastic.
To the bill, Senator Judah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this bill focuses on a balanced approach with the state that starts with improving access to the state programs for limited English proficiency, it has an understanding the extent and nature of the state's agencies' existing efforts to provide language access. It'll convene and create policy that will work with the Office of New Americans to create a working group and the principal departments of the state. It will have an assessment step, and then it will finally have a permanent community of practice, and that will be following this assessment. A permanent group called the Community of Practice will that will be created with the DPA. And I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1153? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1153. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the committee is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
Senate will come to order. Senator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
May 1st, 2025, Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1098, House Bill 1198, House Bill 1061, House Bill 1153, passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
The motion is adoption of committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, and 1 excuse, committee of the whole report is adopted. Thank you. Has strained my arm. House Bill 1098, 1198, 1061, and 1153 passed second reading, order revised, placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. We'll take a senatorial 5. We're back in the game. Mr. Schaffler, please excuse Senators Danielson and Roberts. They was tired. Consideration of resolutions. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title to HJR 25-1028.
House Joint Resolution 1028 by Representatives Armagost, Lukens, and Senators Pelton R. and Roberts concerning the Colorado Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus and in connection therewith designated April 25, 2025 as Sportsman's Day.
Senator Pelton R.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move HJR 25-1028, and I'd ask that it be read at length.
Mr. Schaffler, please read HJR 25-1028 at length.
Whereas more than a century ago, hunters and anglers were among the first conservationists who realized America's natural resources were in peril and could not sustain unregulated harvests and habitat destruction. And whereas hunters and anglers took it upon themselves to support laws that stopped excessive harvesting of fish and wildlife, established game and fish agencies to protect fish and wildlife and their habitats, and established special fishing and hunting license fees to help fund efforts to provide healthy natural resources for future generations. And whereas upon realizing that license fees alone were insufficient to restore and sustain healthy fish and wildlife populations, hunters and anglers supported excise taxes on firearms, ammunition, and archery, hunting, and fishing equipment to raise additional funds to support the restoration and enhancement efforts of state agencies. And whereas this user-pay public benefit system became known as the United States Fish and Wildlife Services Wildlife and Sport Fish Restoration Program that began with the passage of the Pittman-Robertson Wildlife Restoration Act in 1937, which was bolstered by the passage of the Federal Aid and Sport Fish Restoration Act in 1950, and further expanded with the passage of the Wallop-Breaux Amendments to the 1950 Act in 1984. And whereas today, Colorado Parks and Wildlife is funded in part by sportsmen and women throughout the American system of conservation funding, and this user-pay public benefit system is still widely recognized as the most successful model for funding fish and wildlife management in the world. And whereas in 2021, Colorado's sportsmen and women generated over $136 million through this system to support the conservation efforts of Colorado Parks and Wildlife. And whereas Colorado's more than 1.2 million hunters and anglers contribute more than $3.2 billion in statewide economic output per year while engaged in their pursuits, which supports over 25,000 jobs and generates around $187 million in state and local taxes. And whereas the stated mission of the Colorado Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus, a nonpartisan caucus formed in 2002 by the 63rd General Assembly, is to preserve and promote the traditional rights of American citizens to hunt, fish, and pursue outdoor activities, ensure that America's sportsmen and women have reasonable access to public lands to enjoy outdoor pursuits, protect the investment of sportsmen and women in wildlife and fisheries management by safeguarding the integrity of user fee trust funds, support efforts to enhance multiple-use habitat management for wildlife and fisheries, recognize the importance of hunting, fishing, and other outdoor activities to our nation's economy, support the maintenance and growth of outdoor-related industries and activities, and work as a collaborative partner with their agricultural community in providing and protecting wildlife habitats. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 75th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the Senate concurring herein, 1, that the General Assembly urges its members to join the Colorado Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus, 2, that the General Assembly urges Colorado's institutions, both public and private, to work with the Colorado Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus as it strives to assist sportsmen and women to uphold their critical role in maintaining an economically vibrant and environmentally healthy Colorado. And 3, that the General Assembly hereby declares Friday, April 25th, 2025, to be Sportsmen's Day in recognition of the sportsmen and women of Colorado and in honor of their many contributions to conservation across the Centennial State. Be it further resolved that copies of this joint resolution be sent to Jeff Davis, Director of Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and Governor Jared Polis.
Discussion. Senator Pelton R.
Please have a seat. I won't be long. The good senator from Avon and I talked about this Friday, and over 30,000 habitat stamps are sold in his district. My district, the Eastern and Southeastern Plains, people think there's not much out there, but we sell over 18,000 habitat stamps a year. So hunting and fishing is alive and well across the whole state. It's a very big part of our economic engine in this state. And with that, Mr. President, I renew my motion for House Joint Resolution 1028.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of HJR 25-1028. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, HJR 25-1028 is adopted. Co-sponsors, Senator Pelton R.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request the current roll call be added as co-sponsors.
Seeing no objection, the current roll call will be added as co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title to HJR 25-1020. Oh, no. Okay. I didn't do it. I already gavelled. I gavelled a long time ago. That is correct. Please read the title, HJR 2510. Oh, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over House Joint Resolution 1027 until tomorrow, May the 2nd.
The motion is lay over HJR 251027 tomorrow, May the 2nd. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. HJR 251027 be laid over to tomorrow, May the 2nd. That was kind. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title, HJR 251030.
House Joint Resolution 1030 by Representative Winter and Bacon and Senators Mullica and Pelton B. concerning government procurement of products with forced labor components.
Senator Mullica.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move HJR 251030.
Further discussion? Senator Pelton B.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will the clerk please read the HJR 1030 at length?
Oh, wow. Mr. Schaffler, please read HJR 251030 at length. You're welcome.
Whereas the state of Colorado recognizes the equal and inalienable rights of all humans as the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. And whereas many products procured by governmental entities of the state of Colorado are made with components that are mined, produced, or manufactured wholly in part by forced labor. And whereas forced labor means all work or labor that is exacted from an individual under the menace of any penalty for non-performance of the work or labor and for which the individual does not offer the work or labor voluntarily, including forced, indentured, or oppressive child labor. And whereas oppressive child labor is a condition of employment under which an individual under 14 years of age is employed in an occupation hazardous for the employment of children, such as manufacturing or mining. And whereas concerns about the use of forced labor to create certain components and materials prompted the federal government to pass the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, also known as the UFLPA, with overwhelming bipartisan support. And whereas the Trafficking Victims Protection Reauthorization Act of 2013, known as the TVPRA 2013, mandates the U.S. Department of Labor to maintain a list that identifies products that utilize forced labor in violation of international standards, and such information is critical in combating forced labor and child labor issues. And whereas forced labor distorts global and local economic markets and undercuts ethical businesses and economies that rely on fair labor practices, now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives, the 75th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the Senate concurring herein. One, that the State of Colorado deplores the use of forced labor and finds that it is repugnant, violates basic human rights, constitutes discrimination, and damages free and fair competition. And two, that the State of Colorado will utilize its purchasing power to support businesses that create, retail, or utilize products or materials that are ethically sourced or manufactured without forced labor, and encourage the state and local offices of economic development to pursue the location or relocation of businesses that ethically source or manufacture products and materials without forced labor to the state of Colorado. Be it further resolved that copies of this joint resolution be sent to the Governor Jared Polis, Phil Weiser, the Attorney General of Colorado, Eve Lieberman, the Executive Director of Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade, Patty Salazar, the Executive Director of the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies, Will Tour, the Executive Director of Colorado Energy Office, the governing bodies of all counties in Colorado, President Donald Trump, and Colorado's congressional delegation.
Senator Mullica.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will be brief because I know everyone wants to get home. I think the resolution speaks a lot for itself. But really, on a serious note, kids deserve to be kids. This resolution is about forced labor, making sure that we recognize that that's not appropriate and that Colorado will not stand for forced child labor. I would ask for a yes vote.
Very good. Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the motion is the adoption of H.R. 251030. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, H.J.R. 251030 is adopted. Co-sponsors, Senator Pelton B.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request that the current roll call be added as co-sponsors.
Seeing no objection, the current roll call will be added as co-sponsors. Consideration of House amendments to Senate bills. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of Senate Bill 008.
Senate Bill 008 by Senators Hendrickson and Kipp and Representative Froelich concerning adjustments to the necessary document program administered by the Office of Health Equity and the Department of Public Health and Environment.
Senator Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate concur with the House amendment to Senate Bill 8.
Any discussion? Senator Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The House added an amendment that allowed for the program to receive gift grants and donations.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is that the Senate concur with House amendments to Senate Bill 008. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, that motion is adopted. Senator Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 8.
Any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is a repassage of Senate Bill 8. Are there any no votes? What? Senators, Mr. Minority Leader, Kirkmeyer, Rich, Simpson, Catlin, Baisley, Liston, Pelton R., Carson, Bright, Pelton B. With a vote of 21 ayes, 11 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 008 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title to Senate Bill 18.
Senate Bill 18 by Senators Bridges and Kipp and Representative Taggart concerning online searching for sales and use tax information and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Kipp.
Thank you. I move that we concur with the House amendments to SB 018.
Tell us why, Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. They funded the bill.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, the motion the Senate concur with the House amendments to Senate Bill 18. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, that motion is adopted. Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 18.
Very good. On third reading and final pass. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the repassage of Senate Bill 18. Are there any no votes? Seeing no votes. 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused. Senate Bill 18 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Yeah. Mr. Do we need to lay over? Mr. Majority Leader. The greatest majority leader of all time. The majority leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over Senate Bill 37 until tomorrow, May the 2nd.
I am really nervous about that call from the other majority leader. The motion is to lay over Senate Bill 37 to tomorrow. What was it? Great. May 2nd. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 37 will lay over until tomorrow, May 2nd. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of Senate Bill 187.
Senate Bill 187 by Senators Hendrickson and Sullivan and Representatives Martinez and Weinberg concerning the continuation of the Motorcycle Operator Safety Training Program in the Office of the Chief of the State Patrol and into the Department of Public Safety and in connection therewith implementing the Sunset Review recommendations of the Department of Regulatory Agencies.
Senator Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate concur with the House amendments to Senate Bill 187.
Tell us why, Senator Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The House added an amendment that allowed for the program when in a financial surplus to allow for credits for make the training more affordable. They shortened the time of the next sunset review from 9 years down to 5 years, and they eliminated changes that were originally in the bill to the scope of the purview of the most advisory board.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is that the Senate concur with House amendments to Senate Bill 187. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, that motion is adopted. Senator Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 187.
Any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the repassage of Senate Bill 187. Are there any no votes? Yes. Thank you. 187. Senators Baisley. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. I saw their hand. Carson. With a vote of 30 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 187 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of Senate Bill 190.
Senate Bill 190 by Senators Ball and Gonzalez and Representatives Bacon and Soper concerning processes for offenders with health service needs released from custody.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. We move that Senate Bill 190, we move to concur with the House amendments to Senate Bill 190.
Tell us why, Senator Gonzalez. Senator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. President. The House made the bill better. They added a reference to the ADA that we agree with.
Did they?
They did.
Excellent. Seeing no further discussion, there is discussion. Senator Gonzalez.
I'd like my bill to pass, our bill to pass. Thank you.
Excellent. The motion, Senate concur with House amendments to Senate Bill 190. Are there any no votes? There is a no vote on the concurrence. No votes on concurrence. With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, that motion is adopted. Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. We move to repass Senate Bill 190 because it's awesome.
Further discussion. Seeing none, the motion is the repassage of Senate Bill 190. Are there any aye votes? Yes. There's one aye vote. Senator Pelton B. Okay. Are there any no votes? Senator, Mr. Minority Leader, Kirkmeyer, Rich, Simpson, Pelton B. Bright. Carson. Pelton R. Catlin. Baisley. Liston. With a vote of 21 ayes, 11 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 190 is repassed. Co-sponsors, Senators Exum, Sullivan. You're already on there, Wallace. Amabile is already on there. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of Senate Bill 200.
Senate Bill 200 by Senators Colker and Mullica and Representatives Hamrick and Soper concerning targeted measures to encourage early elementary academic success and in connection therewith updating methods for assessing certain skills, identifying struggling readers, and supporting students with dyslexia.
Senator Coker, I was looking at the number of fingers, and I'm really glad that you only put up one finger, which is your index. Senator Coker. Thumbs.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate concur with amendments to Senate Bill 200.
Please tell us why, Senator Coker.
It gave more time to implement, that's why.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion, the Senate concur with the House amendments to Senate Bill 200. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, that motion is adopted. But we still need another vote, another motion. Is there another motion? There is one. Here it comes. Senator Colker.
I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 200.
Very good. Seeing no further discussion, the motion is the repassage of Senate Bill 200. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 200 is repassed. Co-sponsors, Senator Sullivan. Let's see. We already have Catlin, we already have Carson, and we already have Exum. Perfect. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of Senate Bill 275.
Senate Bill 275 by Senators Ball and Catlin and Representatives Luck and Espinosa concerning the relocation of certain existing definitions in the Colorado Revised Statutes to aid the reader in ascertaining their applicability to the proper sections of the law.
Senator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate concur with the House amendments to Senate Bill 275.
Tell us why, Senator Ball.
Our intrepid drafter discovered a conflict between one of the sections that was proposed to be moved under this bill, so we took it out.
Excellent work. Further discussion on the motion to concur. There is further discussion. Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'm curious if the amendments are substantive on this non-substantive relocation bill.
Senator Ball.
These are non-substantive changes to a non-substantive bill.
Excellent response. Further discussion, seeing none. The motion is that the Senate concur with House amendments to Senate Bill 275. Are there any no votes? With a non-substantive vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, that motion is adopted. Senator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 275 and ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none. The motion is the repassage of Senate Bill 275. Are there any no votes? It does matter. So please don't raise your hand. Seeing no further discussion, the motion was the passage already, and their vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused. 275 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Senators Michelson, Janae, Kip, Wallace, is your hand still up? Snyder, Cutter. Does anybody else care to vote on or co-sponsor this bill? Please don't add the president. All right. Consideration of House amendments to Senate resolutions. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title to SJR 15.
Senate Joint Resolution 15 by Senators Colker and Danielson and Representative Titone concerning the designation of a portion of Colorado State Highway 58 as the Officer Evan A. Dunn Memorial Highway.
Senator Colker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate concur with the House amendments to SJR 15.
Any discussion?
Just add it to Officer Dunn's mom and dad.
Perfect. Seeing no further discussion, the motion Senate concur with House amendments to SJR 015. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, that motion is adopted. Senator Coker.
I move for the repassage of SJR 25015.
Very good. Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the repassage of SJR 015. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Joint Resolution 015 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Everyone's already a co-sponsor. Excellent work. Conference committee appointment. In response to a request from the House for a conference committee on House Bill 1273, the Senate conferees are Senator Ball, Chair, Henriksen, and Pelton B. Pelton B. On the first conference committee on House Bill 1273, signing of bills.
The President has signed Senate Bill 20, 41, 70, 79, 81, 116, 144, 145, 147, 173, 175, 182, 184, 193, 196, 197, 204, 205, 212, 226, 229, and 277. The President has signed House Bill 1031, 1043, 1080, 1087, 1115, 1161, 1162, 1168, 1180, 1182, 1197, 1200, 1208, 1228, 1240, 1247, 1270, 1298.
Message from the governor.
Honorable members of the Colorado Senate, pursuant to the authority vested in the office of the Governor of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to inform you that I have approved and filed with the Secretary of State the following acts. Approved on Wednesday, April 30th, 2025 at 3 p.m. Senate Bill 228, Enterprise Disability Buy-in Premium. Senate Bill 270, Enterprise Nursing Facility Provider Fees. Senate Bill 178, Colorado K-5 Social and Emotional Health Pilot Program. Senate Bill 31, Single Point of Contact Wireless Services. Senate Bill 199, Suspend Legislative Interim Activities. Sincerely, Jared Polis, Governor. Honorable members of the Colorado Senate, pursuant to the authority vested in the office of the Governor of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to inform you that I have approved and filed with the Secretary of State the following acts. Senate Bill 247, tuition waiver in Colorado National Guard members, approved on Thursday, May 1st, 2025 at 12:30 p.m. Senate Bill 63, library resource decision standards for public schools, approved on Thursday, May 1st, 2025 at 12:45 p.m. Sincerely, Jared Polis, Governor.
Amazing work, Mr. Schaffler. Announcements. Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. We will be having appropriations tomorrow at 8 a.m. If you have a bill or if you are on the committee, we will see you there.
Further announcements. There is an announcement. Senator Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I have a moment of personal privilege?
Granted.
Tomorrow is the 667th Friday and last Friday of the session since my son Alex was murdered along with 11 others at the Aurora Theater Massacre on July 20th, 2012. I know I never can make a single one of you understand what it means to me to have this opportunity to acknowledge my son and all of those who were murdered with him, nor will you ever understand what our lives have been like since that day. What I do know is that by my count, during this session, we have brought forward 14 different bills pertaining to gun violence prevention. In those 14 bills, 27 different legislators put their names on it as prime sponsors. I think to the time between Columbine and the theater shooting, had there just been one person who could have come to a podium like this or a committee room upstairs. And I know that the times were different and the words on those red books wouldn't have changed substantially. But I do know that they could have brought an awareness to the public health crisis that is gun violence in our communities. And maybe something could have changed. And I wouldn't have to be in front of you wearing Alex's jacket that I wore every single day when I've come down here these past 7 years. And this jacket has taken a beating. The sleeves are ripping. My cuffs are coming apart. This neck is all torn up. But Alex is doing everything he can to try to protect his dad, who's inside of this jacket. And quite frankly, I don't care if you can see or you can hear what him and I are trying to convey to you every day when we're sitting in that chair and listening to you and being present down here each and every day. But I can guarantee you that the people on the outside have made a notice, and we're going to keep doing the best we can. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Sullivan. Seeing no further announcements, Mr. Majority Leader.
Colleagues, before I adjourn us for the day, I just want to make an announcement. There are marches heading towards the Capitol, or maybe it's already arrived, so as you leave the Capitol this evening, please exit the circle on the North Colfax side. On that note, Mr. President, I move that the Senate adjourn until 9 a.m. Friday, May 2nd, 2025.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Senate will stand in adjournment until 9 a.m. on Friday, May 2nd, 2025.